Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXP and today's the 26th of September 2023 and unfortunately guys, there is not much movement in the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, but there is a massive news that is circulating right now and that is regarding MicroStrategy and they have decided to buy $147 million worth of Bitcoin. Now look guys, historically I've not been a massive advocate of Michael Saylor and the answer is pretty simple. A lot of the information that he actually tweets is either fake news or misleading, and what he's actually trying to do is he's trying to artificially create the demand for Bitcoin. Now you might think that him buying so many Bitcoins is a positive news, and in hindsight it actually is, but it begs this big question. Accumulation of Bitcoin unfortunately right now is among billionaires, multimillionaires, celebrities and influencers. So the big question is, has Bitcoin failed? That is something we definitely need to think about. Now unfortunately guys, in today's episode, we are filled with quite a lot of negative news, and the first news is regarding Bybit, and looks like they're suspending the operations in UK. And just few months ago guys, they've also suspended the operations in United States of America, so we'll definitely go ahead and explore that. The second negative news is regarding Tether USDT, and looks like guys, they are shutting down redemption in Singapore. And mind you guys, this is not for everyone, but it has more to do with certain wallets, so we'll definitely go ahead and explore that. And the final negative news guys is regarding Bybit, and they have decided to freeze withdrawal, and that is because they did identify some fraudulent token, so we'll definitely go ahead and explore what that news is all about. Now look guys, this goes back to the very basics of Bitcoin. You truly need to understand that Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, and as long as there's no central intermediaries involved, as there's no central entity involved, the whole promise of Bitcoin has succeeded. And it also reposes this question: was Bitcoin's invention a movement towards separation of money and the state? Now will that thing happen? I really am not sure, so we'll definitely touch base on those points. And guys, like we do in every Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, I'm going to be discussing two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now both the news guys has to do with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and the first news guys is more of a report which is being published by Report Ocean, and in today's episode I'll very briefly touch base on what that report is. The report is called a Saudi Arabia Blockchain Technology Market, and to be honest guys, this is a paid report, so I really am not sure if it is actually worthwhile going ahead and spending your money, so I'm going to be sharing my thoughts and opinion on it. And the second news guys is to do with artificial intelligence, and it is more of an article which is published by Arab News, and the article states how Saudi Arabia is indigenizing the AI revolution and future-proofing its workforce, so we'll definitely go ahead and explore that. So quite a lot of cover guys in today's episode, so let's kickstart with it right away. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee Date, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as you kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and Metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee Date has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. They'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us, from the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies. We'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee Date, so tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee Date, and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the Metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee Date, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the Metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates, and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee at 8 aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE and Middle East region. Now before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they're focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE, so definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing and hosting training workshops, seminars and community events that educate, inform and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Shalhoub Group, a luxury retail and distributor which is headquartered in Dubai, are getting into the NFT game. And here's the deal, guys. They are not just getting into the NFT and Metaverse space, they are going to be shaping the NFT, Metaverse and Web 3.0 space, which I believe is excellent not just for Dubai and UAE, but also for the global cryptocurrency community as well. And guys, Shalhoub Group's Web 3.0 sneaker brand called Soulmates revealed their first NFT collection on the 12th of April. Now what is really interesting is that it's called as Soulmates, so it's spelled as S for sugar, O for orange, L for Larry. Now instead of E, they have replaced it with Web3, and it is the number 3, mates.xyz. And guys, listen, Shalhoub Group has over half a century's worth of experience in luxury goods, and them getting into the NFT space is a massive deal. Now if you're a sneakerhead, you definitely need to check out soulmates.xyz. And once again, guys, the number is 3 instead of an E. It has all the information, and in the show notes below, you'll get all the information. And listen, guys, if you want to be an early adopter, you can also pre-mint it at www.premint.xyz/soulmates. So definitely check it out. And they have a Discord community as well. And guys, Nick, who is the head of corporate innovation at Shalhoub Group and also the co-founder of Soulmates, has a WhatsApp group where he constantly provides updates in the area of NFTs, Metaverse and Web 3.0. So guys, check out soulmates.xyz and be part of the Soulmates OG NFT that is definitely going to shape the industry. Next, listen guys, there are 3 things I'm absolutely passionate about. One is death metal, ice cold beer, and the third one is extreme sports, and that is Tough Mudder. And Tough Mudder, guys, is a series of obstacle and mud runs that'll push your physical and mental limits without the pressure of competition. It's essentially a community that is built on teamwork and overcoming obstacles, where stepping outside of your comfort zone is the actual reward. And my big question is, guys, when was the last time you did something wild for the very first time? Now listen, guys, Tough Mudder Arabia has a formidable team, and one of the events does actually take place on the 14th of October. And Tough Mudder Arabia, guys, is putting across a series of events this year and next year. And the first big event take place on Fujairah Adventure Park on the 14th of October. So look at the show notes below. You'll find the registration link. And if you're someone who is in Dubai, there are 2 days of back-to-back Tough Mudder events as well that takes place on the 11th and the 12th of November at the iconic Jebel Ali race. And finally, guys, in the second quarter of 2024, there's a massive event taking place in Ras Al Khaimah, and that takes place on the 20th of April 2024. Now listen, guys, if you want a season pass, it is at a discounted price. So look at the show notes below for the discounted price. And guess what, guys, they have 2 different distances as well
5 kilometers, and 10 kilometers. And if you have kids, get your kids along. So check out the show notes below to find out more information regarding Tough Mudder Arabia. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below.
Now, guys, since we've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. And to be honest, guys, since the last 24 hours, there's not much going on in the world of cryptocurrencies. The global cryptocurrency market is pretty much the same since the last 24 hours. It is at $1.05 trillion. Now, since the last 24 hours, it has marginally gone down by 0.80%, and the total cryptocurrency market volume, guys, is at $27.07 billion. But in comparison to the last 24 hours, it has significantly pumped up to $83.65 billion. So it looks like what is going on since the last 24 hours, there is a lot of buying going on. At the same time, there is a lot of selling going on as well. And to be honest, guys, the prices are exactly the same. So it looks like an equal amount of buying has been going on and an equal amount of selling has been going on as well. Now, unfortunately, guys, the volume in DeFi is not looking good at all. It is at $2.09 billion, and the total value locked, guys, is at $37.93 billion. And Lido is still leading the total value locked since the last 24 hours. And in terms of dollar amount, it is at $14.03 billion. And guys, listen, one metric which I'm really keeping an eye on is decentralized exchange to centralized exchange dominance. And that, to be honest, guys, will give us an indication of how many people are using decentralized exchanges. Now, unfortunately, as of today, it is at 9.73%. And to be honest, guys, I'll be really curious to check by when we'll be consistently touching the 40% mark. That, to be honest, will be an absolutely brilliant indication that the world at a macro level is heading towards decentralized exchanges and decentralization, or distributed, how I like to call it. Now, since the last 24 hours, DeFi transaction volumes are accounting for 7.73% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now, in today's episode, guys, let me just quickly run through the decentralized exchange volume. And the number one is Uniswap, and its volume is $328.14 million. The second is PancakeSwap at $172.41 million. Core Finance is number third at $78.84 million. Maverick Protocol, guys, is at number fourth at $50.94 million, and finally Dodo at $44.71 million. And guys, listen, I was listening to an episode with Jeremy Alaria, who's the CEO of Circle that actually manages Circle USDC. And in that episode, guys, he was talking about the volume that Circle USDC is actually transacting. And to be honest, guys, even though they do 24-hour trading volumes in billions of dollars, if you were to compare it, let's say, with traditional finance or general transaction volumes, the number is absolutely minuscule. And to be honest, guys, if you were to compare that with the 24-hour volume of decentralized exchange, these numbers are absolutely negligible. Uniswap is often leading the race, and a volume of $328.14 million in the last 24 hours is really negligible. I wouldn't even say it's like a needle in a haystack. It's probably much tinier than that as well. So there is a lot of opportunities in DeFi, but it's going to be really critical to identify the user experience. And once we're able to tackle the user experience, guys, in DeFi protocols, that is when I really feel decentralized exchange to centralized exchange dominance will be heading towards a 40% range. When will this happen? To be honest, guys, I'm expecting it to happen at least in the next couple of decades. It's definitely going to take a lot of time, because during that time we also have central bank digital currencies kicking in, and as much as I dislike saying it, stablecoins will act as a detractor to reducing the number of DeFi transactions. So that is definitely an area as an industry we need to think about. Now guys, let's quickly run through the volume of stablecoins since the last 24 hours. And unfortunately, guys, in 2023, the volume of stablecoins has been absolutely pathetic. Now, since the last 24 hours, it is down to $25.4 billion. And stablecoins, guys, is accounting for 93.83% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And look, guys, there is a lot of buying and selling going on. But unfortunately, if you look at the volume since the last 24 hours, the volume has not changed for stablecoins. So it looks like, guys, a lot of decentralized exchanges have been used since the last 24 hours in order to go out and buy and sell cryptocurrencies. Now, Tether USDT is still leading the pack, and the 24-hour trading volume is $20.12 billion. And later on, guys, we'll go out and discuss what the Chief Technology Officer has spoken about, or the drama that is going on in Singapore. And looks like they're restricting people to go out and redeem their funds. So definitely unfortunate news. Now, the number second stablecoin issuer is Circle USDC, and the 24-hour volume is $3.12 billion. Binance BUSD, guys, the 24-hour trading volume is $706 million. Now, guys, let's quickly run through the market cap, 24-hour trading volume, and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum, because Bitcoin's market cap, guys, is definitely not looking good. It is down to $513 billion. What is really worse, to be honest, is the market cap of Ethereum. It is at $191 billion. And look, guys, the only reason why I've been comparing the market cap between Bitcoin and Ethereum, because I was under the impression after the London hard fork upgrade, there is a very high possibility that Ethereum's market cap would actually overtake Bitcoin's market cap. And I was under the impression that would happen at least 18 months from then. Unfortunately, guys, I don't see that happening for the next couple of years. And yesterday, guys, in my Crypto and Coffee at 8 podcast, we also discussed some of negative news regarding Ethereum, and that is more to do with the volumes. And unfortunately, guys, there is a lot of negative sentiment, particularly in the world of Ethereum, and that is more to do with institutional investors. Now, guys, if you look at the 24-hour trading volume, Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume has more than doubled since the last 24 hours. It is at $13 billion, and the same thing has happened with Ethereum as well. It is definitely doubled, but the volume is ridiculously low at $5.05 billion. And as I mentioned earlier, guys, since the last 24 hours, there is a lot of buying, but at the same time, an equal amount of selling going on. And later on, when we look at the prices haven't changed at all since the last 24 hours. Now, if you look at the dominance, though, Bitcoin's dominance has gone down. It is at 48.98%, and Ethereum's dominance is at 18.20%. And guys, next metric that I'm going to be looking at is the total value locked across all DeFi protocols. And the number one, guys, as I mentioned earlier, is Lido, and its total value locked is $14.03 billion. Aave is number second at $4.65 billion. MakerDAO is number third, guys, and the total value locked is $4.46 billion. Now, just a refresher, guys, before Ethereum staking kicked in, MakerDAO was always dominating so far as the total value locked is concerned. And guys, while I was researching for this podcast, I was actually going through a blog which is published by CoinShares that actually states some of the dangers of total value locked. So if you're someone who's into DeFi, you definitely need to check it out, because unfortunately, guys, looks like there is a lot of centralization risks. so far as total value locked is concerned, and Lido is definitely dominating, and unfortunately that need not necessarily be a good thing. So if you're someone who's into DeFi, and if you're into institutional investors catering to Ethereum, you definitely need to check it out. So go to CoinShares blog and definitely have a read through it. Now the number 4 so far as total value locked is concerned is Justland, and $4.52 billion is locked in this protocol. And finally Uniswap at $3.15 billion. Now guys, before we look at the king of all kings, let me just run through a protocol called as Compound. And to be honest guys, in 2018, Compound definitely made quite a lot of headways in news. So let me go ahead and briefly explain what Compound is. And the ticker symbol guys for Compound is COMP. And they are a decentralized finance platform that serves two main purposes, that is lending and borrowing of cryptocurrencies. So let me go ahead and explain it in detail. Now so far as lending of Compound is concerned, users can deposit the cryptocurrencies such as Ethereum into Compound's pool. And here's the interesting bit guys, each pool supports specific types of cryptocurrencies. So let's say when you deposit your cryptocurrency into a pool, you receive C tokens in return. So for example, if you deposit let's say Ethereum, you would get C Ethereum, and these C tokens represents your share in the pool. And over time guys, these C tokens you hold start earning interest, and the exchange rate of C tokens to the underlying cryptocurrency increases as well, meaning you can redeem them for more of the original cryptocurrencies that you initially deposited, and this is how you earn interest on your holdings. Now the big question is guys, where does the interest actually come from? And that is something you definitely need to think about. Now so far as borrowing on Compound is concerned, borrowers can access loans by providing collateral in the form of cryptocurrencies, and they can choose from various pools and deposit collateral assets, and the maximum loan to value, also called as LTV ratio, varies based on collateral assets but typically ranges somewhere in the range of 50 to 75%. What this means guys is that borrowers can take out loans worth a percentage of the collateral's value, and borrowers pay interest on borrowed assets, with the interest rate varying depending on the specific cryptocurrencies they borrow. And if the value of the collateral falls below let's say a certain threshold, the platform can automatically liquidate the collateral to repay the loan. Now let me just run through some of the unique features of Compound guys, because as I mentioned earlier guys, in 2018 they definitely made quite a lot of news in the DeFi world. So some of the features of unique Compound guys are community governance, comp tokens, limited supply, security and availability. So let me just very briefly run through it. Now so far as community governance is concerned, Compound is unique because it allows users who hold comp tokens to participate in governing the platform, and they can propose changes, debate them and vote on whether to implement them or not. And this decentralized governance system guys empowers the community to make decisions about the protocol's rules. And so far as the comp tokens is concerned, Comp is the native governance token on the Compound platform, and essentially you can buy Comp tokens on various cryptocurrency exchanges, and they're used for voting and earning rewards within the platform as well. And so far as the supply is concerned guys, there will only ever be 10 million Comp tokens, and they are distributed to various parties including users. And for community governance incentives, and the emission rate of Comp token guys can be changed to community governance as well. And so far as the security is concerned, Compound relies on smart contracts to handle lending and borrowing automatically, and it enforces collateralization requirements to ensure that loans are backed by adequate collateral, and if the collateral falls below the minimum level, it can be sold to maintain the system's stability. And finally guys, so far as the availability is concerned, Comp tokens are tradable on multiple cryptocurrency exchanges, making it accessible for absolutely anyone to buy, sell and trade. So essentially guys, in a nutshell, Compound is a DeFi lending protocol that allows users to earn interest on the cryptocurrencies and enables borrowers to take out loans by providing collateral, and it's known for its community governance, comp tokens, and secure smart contracts based operation. And look guys, in 2018 there was this massive narrative about DeFi, and every other protocol that I should look at were highly focusing on DeFi. At that point of time, Compound was definitely making quite a lot of news. Now guys, let's look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. And to be honest guys, there is not much going on in the world of Bitcoin, and the price of Bitcoin is $26,345, and since the last 24 hours it is marginally down by 0.44%, and since the last 7 days it is down by 1.90%. And look guys, MicroStrategy buying quite a lot of Bitcoin might appear to be a positive news, but the way I look at it is definitely negative news, and I'm going to be sharing my thoughts and opinion on it, and whether you agree to it
or disagree to it, mention your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Now the price of Ethereum, guys, is at $1,589. Now since the last 24 hours, it is marginally up by 0.12%. Since the last 7 days though, it is down by 3.12%. Binance BNB Coin, guys, is not doing good at all. The price is $209. And since the last 24 hours, it is marginally down by 0.07%. Since the last 7 days, it is down by 3.26%. And look, guys, one of the notorious characters, or should I say a false advocate of Bitcoin, is on a buying spree of Bitcoin. And the news is that MicroStrategy buys $147 million worth of Bitcoin. Now, before we get into that, guys, let me ask you a very basic question. Why was Bitcoin created? Bitcoin was created as a movement to a separation of money and the state, but unfortunately, guys, looks like the role of the state has been replaced by billionaires, multimillionaires, celebrity and influencers, so definitely not ideal. Now, there is no way I'm actually blaming Michael Saylor for it. He's doing what he is supposed to do, and if I was a billionaire, probably I would do the same thing. But the big question is, can people in, let's say, Zimbabwe, in poorer countries like Nigeria, Africa, Bangladesh, Pakistan or India, can an average person be in a position to go out and buy more Bitcoin? Now look, guys, the narrative that multi-billionaires, celebrities and influencers will put out that Bitcoin is broken down into 8 units and you can still go out and acquire Satoshis. Now the only reason why they are doing that is they want to create the demand for Bitcoin, and once they create the demand for Bitcoin, an average person will go out and try to accumulate or try to buy some Bitcoins in the form of, let's say, Satoshis. And in doing that, the demand for Bitcoin will increase. And once the demand for Bitcoin increases, the price of Bitcoin increases. And whether we like it or not, guys, Michael Saylor, multi-billionaire celebrities and influencers, their existing net worth in Bitcoin will increase as well. Simple as that, isn't it? Now, Michael Saylor is no longer the CEO of MicroStrategy. He's the co-founder of MicroStrategy and also the executive chairman of MicroStrategy. And he actually mentioned via Twitter that they purchased 5,445 Bitcoin, and the coins are bought for $147.3 million in cash at an average price of $27,053 per Bitcoin. And look, as the official filings can actually be found in the show notes below, which has been submitted to the US Security and Exchange Commission. Now, in one of the interviews, Michael Saylor did actually state that historically, had he put all the money, let's say in golds or stocks, he would have been below profit. So when you talk about it, let's say from a business point of view, it does make a lot of sense. But what I'm trying to say is, guys, what happens to an average person? Are they in a position to go ahead and buy Bitcoin? Now look, guys, you can make this argument that we are living in a capital market and everyone has the right to go ahead and choose it. That is perfectly fine as well. But when you talk about Bitcoin, guys, Bitcoin was created as a movement to a separation of money and the state. And unfortunately, the role of the state has been replaced by billionaires, multimillionaires, celebrities and influencers. Now look, I am not a fan of Michael Saylor at all, and I've been following his tweets regularly, and I hate to say it, guys, Michael Saylor is sounding like Satish Kumbhani from Bitconnect. Now if you go to YouTube, just type in Bitconnect, you would understand what I'm talking about. And one of my biggest worries is, what happens if he's directly or indirectly forced to sell his Bitcoin due to pressures from BlackRock? Now listen, guys, BlackRock is a massive investor of MicroStrategy, and you should know by now that this whole ESG concern, which is also connected to Bitcoin mining, is only driven by BlackRock. And if you truly understand Michael Saylor, guys, he's also an active member of Crypto Mining Council as well. Now what Michael Saylor can do is he can directly or indirectly try to convince Bitcoin miners to go and switch from proof of work to proof of stake. Now could this thing happen? I highly doubt it. But what if BlackRock decides and tells Michael Saylor that look, you need to go and dump all of your Bitcoin? That look, guys, BlackRock is such a massive giant. Even people like Elon Musk have to follow the orders of Larry Fink. And to be honest, Michael Saylor will definitely abide to what Larry Fink says or what BlackRock says. And another thing, guys, which worries me the most, that he's an active member of Crypto Mining Council, and the combination of these things definitely does not seem to be right. And look, guys, if you actually go through his tweets, he does provide quite a lot of fake news and misleading information as well. Just because he has X number of followers does not necessarily mean that everything he's tweeting is absolutely right. Now, unfortunately, guys, accumulation of Bitcoin is among billionaires, multimillionaires, celebrities and influencers, and I'm pretty much sure Satoshi Nakamoto would definitely not appreciate this. But again, the argument that you can make is about a capital market, and everyone has the right to choose whatever they want to do with the money. Now, if you agree to it or disagree to what I'm saying, mention your thoughts in comments in the comment section below. Now guys, let's discuss second news, and this is an unfortunate news all the way from UK, and Bybit has made the decision to halt its services in the United Kingdom, and this move guys is in response to updated regulations concerning market and communications from cryptocurrency business as mandated by FCA, called as the Financial Conduct Authority. And guys, in the show notes below, I've also got and mentioned the new rules, and the new rules are called as Financial Promotion Rules for Crypto Assets. I believe it is roughly around 93 pages long. So from the 1st of October, Bybit will no longer accept account opening applications by UK residents or nationals, and from 8th of October, existing users will no longer be able to make new deposits, create new contracts, or increase any of the existing positions for all products and services. They can, however, reduce and close their positions and withdraw their funds from the platform. So this is an information which is actually being published by Bybit, and Bybit has also stated that the UK customers affected by this change are strongly encouraged to wind down their positions by 8 a.m. on 8th of January 2024, and after the stipulated deadline guys, the opening positions will be liquidated and the liquidation funds will be available for withdrawal. So if you're a listener from UK, which I think quite a lot of my podcast listeners are from, and if you're using Bybit, you definitely need to check this news ASAP. Now guys, let's discuss another unfortunate news, and that is to do with stablecoin issuer Tether USDT. And the news that is circulating right now is that Tether USDT has reportedly changed its terms of services in Singapore, and an email was shared by CEO of decentralized financial called as Cake DeFi. Now mind you guys, the CEO of Cake DeFi is Dr. Julian Hobbs, who to be honest guys has the best impressions in the cryptocurrency world, and before joining the cryptocurrency world, he was actually involved in quite a lot of scam other projects as well. But because this news has to do with Tether USDT, I definitely don't want to get into this. But so far as the news is concerned, Dr. Julian Hobbs did actually mention via Twitter, and in that tweet he actually stated that he cannot redeem USDT for United States dollar due to changes in terms of services. So what I'd really recommend you to do is look at that tweet, and if you're someone who's using Cake DeFi in Singapore, you're definitely going to be affected by it. Now here's where the drama starts guys. Tether CTO, that is Paulo Drino, has definitely refuted the speculations, and what he's actually stated is that terms of service has been applicable since 2020. Now look guys, I'm not a massive advocate of Tether USDT, and at the same time I'm not a massive advocate of CEO Dr. Julian Hobbs as well, because to be honest, both of them have notorious history in the cryptocurrency world. Now the fact unfortunately is, when you talk about stablecoin issuers can definitely go ahead and censor your transactions, and now looks like they can even stop you from redeeming your transactions as well. And this goes back to the very second line of Bitcoin white paper. The main benefits are lost if a central mediary or entity, in case of this Tether USDT, is required to prevent double spending. And unfortunately guys, look, when you talk about stablecoin issuers are replacing the role of a bank as well, isn't it? Now if you're a massive advocate of stablecoins, you need to understand the basics of Bitcoin guys, peer-to-peer electronic cash system, but stablecoins are definitely replacing the role of a bank. So definitely unfortunate news. Now guys, let's talk about another negative news, and that is to do with Bybit, and they have frozen withdrawal, but looks like guys this thing has been resolved. But let me go ahead and explain what this news is all about. Now Bybit guys is South Korea's biggest cryptocurrency exchange, and they had temporarily suspended withdrawal services, and this action was taken in response to an unusually high volume of deposit attempts linked to a fraudulent token. And I believe this has more to do with Aptos blockchain. So what happened is that the exchange identified a potential scam, and the official announcement is actually published via the blog. And the freeze actually took place on Sunday when Bybit discovered an abnormal deposit attempt while monitoring flows on APT or Aptos into and out of its wallet system. And they did make an official announcement on that, but looks like the company has since resumed account services, but it has cautioned users that there may be pricing differences when interacting with other exchanges after the suspension. Now look guys, unfortunately in today's episode, there's been quite a lot of negative news, isn't it? Hopefully in tomorrow's episode, I do cover quite a lot of positive news. Now guys, let's look at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. And both the news guys has to do with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Now the first news guys is more of a report which is called as the Saudi Arabian blockchain technology market, and this is actually published by Report Ocean. So let me give you a broad outline on what that report is, because the report discusses Saudi Arabia's blockchain technology market in 2023, and it provides a comprehensive analysis of the current market scenario, and the analysis includes development plans, policies, manufacturing processes, and price structures related to cognitive informatics, and factors such as market growth, consumption volumes, and trends from 2023 to 2032 are explored, and the report covers market definition, regional opportunities, and sales data, and it also analyzes manufacturing cost and the industrial chain, and the market effect factors and forecasts are presented through various data visualization tools, and they have a table of contents of over 100 plus tables. Figures and charts are included for a detailed understanding, and the report also examines the impact of Russia-Ukraine situation on the Saudi Arabian market, and they also have vendor analysis, and what they claim is that the report includes 50 notable vendors operating in the region. They have market drivers, trends and challenges are identified and discussed as well, and also market segmentation is presented by component, type, application, deployment, and industry. So the big question, guys, is should you go ahead and get it? Now listen, guys, I did actually speak to the team, and to be honest, based on the interaction, I would definitely not recommend it, but nonetheless, let me go ahead and point out 3 reasons why you may want to consider buying this report, and 3 reasons why you may not want to consider buying this report. Now, the first reason why you may want to consider buying this report, because on the website they do have some information on what is that you can expect in that report, and looks like based on that, you can get insightful market data, vendor analysis, and strategic planning. So far as insightful market data is concerned, what the report states is that you can gain comprehensive insights into the Saudi Arabian blockchain technology market, aiding business decision. And so far as vendor analysis is concerned, they identify key market players and emerging trends or potential partnership or investments. And so far as strategic planning is concerned, the report can help you to understand market dynamics, growth areas, and challenges for effective strategic planning. And look, guys, all of this data is openly available as well, and I'm really curious to check where did they actually get the information from. Now, the 3 points why I would recommend not to get this information is high cost, limited relevance to blockchain, and time consuming. Now look, guys, when you talk about reports, these reports can be expensive, and even based on my interactions with them, I wasn't confident if they actually knew what they were talking about. So if you were to compare it, let's say, with the cost, it just might be expensive and may not necessarily be the right fit, particularly for centralized exchanges or for businesses that are offering blockchain as a service. And look, guys, based on the information that I researched, looks like there is limited relevance to blockchain system. And more importantly, guys, if your business doesn't directly relate to Saudi Arabia's blockchain market, the report may not be applicable. And so far as the data is concerned, so far as my understanding is, guys, all of these data will be completely open source by the Saudi Arabian government. Now in Dubai, you can definitely get loads of these information completely for free of cost. And finally, guys, these reports are extremely time consuming as well. And analyzing these reports can be time intensive because your business operation needs might be different to what the report is actually stating. And to be honest, guys, looks like it just might be impractical for businesses with urgent priorities or limited resources. So these are actually my thoughts on it. But nonetheless, if you still want to go ahead and check it, guys, look at Report Ocean's website. Now, guys, let's look at the second news. And the second news, guys, is more of an article which is published by Arab News. And the article is called as How Saudi Arabia is Indigenizing AI Revolution and Future-Proofing Its Workforce. So let me just go ahead and highlight some of the information from the article, because the article actually states that Saudi Arabia is heavily investing in artificial intelligence research and development, and the National Strategy for Data and Intelligence aims to make Saudi Arabia a global AI leader, and the goal, guys, is to attract $20 billion in foreign and local investments by 2030, and the adoption of digitization and emerging technologies is projected to contribute to 2.4% to Saudi Arabia's GDP by 2030, and Saudi Arabia expects significant annual growth in AI contributions between 2018 and 2030, and guys, in 2030, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia also has Vision 2030, which, to be honest, will be an absolutely mind-blowing thing. And Vision 2030 social reform and diversification agenda does actually align with the focus on new technologies as well. And the vision has created opportunities for Saudi entrepreneurs to establish tech startups, and AI's popularity surged with the introduction of advanced AI models like chatGPT and LLAMA, is definitely going to change the future of technology, and guys, AI technologies, including translation and transcription tools, are transforming industries as well, isn't it? And Saudi Arabia, guys, aims to nurture local talent and offers AI competitions and hackathons, and the impact of AI on the labor market is a subject to debate with potential displacement. And Saudi Arabia, guys, to be honest, is actively preparing for the artificial intelligence era with initiatives like the International Center for AI Research, and I'm pretty much sure quite a lot more. And to be honest, guys, in Saudi Arabia, emphasis is placed on transparency and responsible AI usage, and AI application in businesses are on the rise with the establishment of AI centers, and the purchase of NVIDIA's H100 chips reflects Saudi Arabia's commitment to AI development. And guys, becoming an AI powerhouse requires collaborations, investment in local talent, and adherence to global standards. And look, guys, in 2023, every time I'm trying to research for this podcast, I'm getting quite a lot of news from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, in Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. Not so much, to be honest. And so far Saudi Arabia is concerned, homegrown AI technology is seen as promising and reflecting Saudi culture and priorities, and Saudi expertise and understanding of local needs are considered vital in AI development. So definitely positive news. And guys, a few weeks ago on my Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, I did actually talk about Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates are definitely going and buying quite a lot of NVIDIA chips as well. So definitely positive news for the Middle East region in general. And that's about all, guys. I'm Crypto and Coffee Date from Blockchain DXP. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxp.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxp.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about Metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes, it's going to be Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's kickstart with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXP. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Stan who asks, do you think Ethereum ETF changes people's approach towards Ethereum? Not at all, to be honest, Stan. What you need to understand that the news that is circulating right now is regarding Ethereum Futures ETF and not Spot ETF. Now, Spot ETF will be an absolutely game changer, but I wouldn't be surprised if that thing goes back as further as, let's say, 2024, maybe even 2025. And I don't see an Ethereum Spot ETF to be approved, let's say, before Bitcoin Spot ETF. And you know, Stan, while I was preparing for this episode today, I was actually reading some news that an Ethereum Future ETF most likely will be approved, let's say, by the 2nd or 5th of October. Now, it's really important to understand that this is a Futures ETF and not a Spot ETF. And to be honest, it should not make absolutely any impact on the price of Ethereum. But listen, Stan, it's really important to understand how mainstream actually picks up this news, or even cryptocurrency media picks up this news. Because if they actually want, they can actually push this news into a completely different narrative, and that could actually pump up the price of Ethereum. But so far as future ETF is concerned, I don't think so should make any impact on the price. And listen, this is definitely not financial advice. And as I mentioned earlier, CoinShares did actually publish a blog, which I believe is called as Concerns of the Future of Staking. And what I'd really recommend you to do is, Stan, and even for the listeners to do, is go ahead and read through that report, because what that report actually discusses is centralization risks and what it actually means for security. And it also takes a deep dive into Lido, which, to be honest, is dominating so far as the total value locked of Ethereum is concerned. And what they also discuss is the lack of Ethereum's usage. And just yesterday in my Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, I did actually talk about the fees have actually gone down, and there are two ways of looking at it. It could actually mean that actually more users or more software developers can go ahead and actually build things on Ethereum, making it extremely cheap, and in certain cases even free for users. But there is a negative way of looking at it, is because the fees have gone down, the miners will not be getting these funds, and unfortunately because of that, they might not be incentivized to, let's say, keep their staking funds in the Ethereum blockchain. But to answer your question, no, Stan, I don't think so that an Ethereum ETF will actually change people's approach towards Ethereum until and unless a Bitcoin Spot ETF is approved. I don't see an Ethereum spot ETF to be approved, but these are my thoughts. I could be wrong, and once again, Stan, this is definitely not financial advice. And that's about all, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series from Blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about Metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And guys, remember, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And how the series of episodes in the Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.